separate videos. We'll do one on enterprise backlogs and what enterprise backlogs means, and then I'll jump into Azure Board and Jira and show you how those work. So if you've not seen any of my other videos, it's probably worth going and watching them on fragilistic.com. Let's show how to use those tools and why we have those tools, like backlogs is a tool. I hope you'll enjoy this one about enterprise backlogs. All right, so I'm going to start with showing you a book. This is the one that's when it comes to scaling in your organisation and working at scale. This is the book which I think this is version 5. Yeah, this is the book which I always go back to. And right on the front page, it's got the name of it. It's got this picture here. I'll show you that. There you go. But I'm going to actually jump into that now and go into that in a bit more detail because it has the backlogs on there. Let's have a quick look. So let's move away from my website, move to someone else's website where they've got this published. The reason I've left that there is, yes, SAFe isn't actually agile. It's not agile based on some of the principles which we all love, but it is probably the best you're going to get in an enterprise where it's a very complex environment. So I'd say it's probably worth having a look at. So if we just have a look at this, the reason I brought this up is I wanted to count the number of backlogs on this. So if we go here, there's a portfolio backlog. Here's a solution backlog. There's a program backlog here. There's a team backlog here. And the chances are, if you consider your task list to be a backlog, you've got your own backlog. So that's 5 backlogs, right? If you look on them in there. And each one has its own sort of types. If it's a personal thing, you've got tasks, and those tasks in the task backlog probably go very simple workflow. If it's a program backlog, you might have a certain workflow for that, and they would be features in there. And more of a portfolio backlog, you're going to have the epics and the objectives of a project. And you might even have a backlog on top of everything that says this is the initiatives that we want to look after. If you've got more than one initiative, this would all normally fit. This is the fitting of one big organisation. So that's what backlogs are, and that's why we have to have more than one backlog. So you're going to end up with more than one type of backlog. They're all going to be hierarchical relationships. The biggest backlog is with big things, and inside each of those big cards are going to be smaller cards. Inside those smaller cards are going to be those smaller cards. The babuskas. I think I've got some babuskas somewhere. I might bring those out. So that's how backlogs work. Now, what you want are tools that are able to do that and able to do the filtering and able to say, where's that and where's that? And that's what both Azure Boards and Jira allow you to do. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go through those. I'm going to go through them now, and then I'll split this video into 3. So if you only want to watch one or the other, I might put chapters on it. Actually, that's probably better. So let's have a look at how Azure Boards deals with scale. So I'm going to jump into Azure Boards. Here is one of these are called projects. Going to Fragilistic. That's my project. And in there, I have all of these different teams. I will look at one of these teams. I'll look at the Scrum playground. I'll jump in there. Now, all of these have settings, and I'm going to jump into the settings because I want to show you the background to this. So if I go to settings here, and I go to the Scrum version 1.1, I'll have a look at how that's set up. Eventually, it will come up. So these work with work item types. We've got these work item types here, and we have levels. So when I went through a second ago, we have many different backlogs. We have those backlogs represented here. We start down at the bottom, the personal backlog, the tasks. Then we've got this requirements backlog. They're the stories. They're the things that are going to go into the sprints. And then above that, we have the feature backlog, which belongs to the program, epics, which belongs to the portfolio. And on this one, not a SAFe thing, we have initiatives to wrap all of those epics in. Generally, not agile. That's related to funding. You generally have those for funding. So that is how it's going to operate in the tool. This is not out of the box. You have to come and create these top levels. You can use the base template, and then you need to create these top 2 levels, or this top level at least. I think from the base template, maybe 2 levels, depending on you pick the Scrum template. There isn't an Scaled Agile template in Azure Boards. But essentially, you create your work items first, and then you go and add them to these levels. And that's a process setting that you need to set up. It's very much a global setting. So that's Azure Boards. And when you come to use that, you can go into your system, and you'll have all of these individual backlogs. You can say, I just want to see the really big initiatives, and I'll show you those on a board. Or I want to see the epics, I'm a portfolio lead. Or I want to see the features because I'm a program lead or a product owner. Or I'm in a team, so I only want to see the backlogs, or the backlog items that are for the user stories. Or I'm just one individual, I just want to see my tasks. So you see how it goes from massive all the way down to the tasks. And the same happens in Jira. So if I go to a Jira, so in Jira, you can set it up for scale. So I've got a project here that's set up for scale. But to show you again, I could go into the project if I wanted to, and I can show you how that's set up for scale. But really, all I'm going to do straight away is go to the settings of that. So I'm going to go to settings, and have a look to see how the issues are configured. And in here, I can have a look at the types. Just like before, I had a tab. There are all the different types. Now, when I create it, I have to rename a few because it won't allow you to put things in a different order. So you have to rename your epic to be a feature and do all of that because you do want that relationship of user story, feature, epic, initiative. Should start from the bottom. Task, user story, feature, epic, initiative. So you create all of those first. You create the types first, you put comments on, do what you want to do. And then you go up to here, have a look at the hierarchy, and you create the hierarchy one. So initiatives, epics, features, stories, tasks. And in here, I've actually got two types. If I click on there, it might actually show me. I've created an enabler as well because features you can have enabled. So you put different types. That might go through a different workflow. So all of those you can create workflows for. And both work perfectly. The important message I've got here really is that out of the box, these things are not native out of the box. You have to create these templates. But if you fail to do it, don't expect your teams to be able to work with a tool that's supposed to be working at scale. You have to create this for your teams to work at scale. So hopefully that's all been good. I will stick these on this website as usual, and you probably found them on YouTube. Enjoy.